What's going on, people? Mike C-Town here with another episode of Records and Ramblings. Before we get into the records, let's do a little bit of rambling. So I don't do this enough, but I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite current YouTube people right now. I don't know her real name, but her channel is called This Machine Kills Music. She's been doing videos for a couple of weeks now, but I've thoroughly enjoyed each and every one of them. She shows records, she shows tapes, she shows books, but I think what I like the most is she's talking about music that not very many people talk about on YouTube, and she's mostly into industrial stuff, which I'm into as well, but since I don't see a lot of other people talking about industrial records, I kind of miss out on a lot of those releases, so I'm going to be leaning on her quite a bit for that side of the music world. Plus she has a really pleasant personality in her videos, so it's easy to listen to her and watch. You know, so many of us are all like, you know, this record's fucking evil and this record's fucking nasty, fuck you, you know? And she's more giggly and jovial about showing these like depraved dark records. So I don't know, it's like a fun dichotomy there. So yeah, go give her a sub, check her out. Her sub count is criminally low, but I'm sure it's gonna skyrocket once people start finding her videos. So yeah. All right, let's get into the records. First record I'm going to show you, this is Asylum Party with Picture One. Yeah, Asylum Party is a French post-punk cold wave band. They were part of the touching pop movement back in the late 80s. This was a movement of French cold wave bands. Who were the other bands were Mary Goes Round, Little Nemo, a couple other bands, but yeah. Asylum Party, they kind of combine early Cure mixed with, say, maybe Jesus and the Mary Chain. And if that sounds good to you, then I think you should go check this out. Records on Black won't bother showing you that, and there's no insert, but this is so worth picking up. It's catchy, but it still has these really sad guitars and this great gothy kind of singer. But yeah, I don't know how well known this band is. I don't hear a lot of people talking about them. They only had 3 albums. This is their first album, and it's just so great, man. The first song, Julia, is just fucking perfect, man. It's perfect. But this was released on Deanwell Global Music, and I didn't even know about this until last year. But luckily, a friend who I used to work at a health food store with way back in the day, he actually runs this label, and he actually hooked me up with this record, so I was extremely stoked. So yeah, Asylum Party, Deanwell Global, make sure you check both of them out. Actually, while we're at it, I may as well go ahead and show this one too. This is the second Asylum Party record. This is Borderline. Yeah, more of the same from Picture One, just a bit more refined. It was also on Deanwell Global. Picture One is sold out, but this one you can still get for about $18, which is cool because both of the original presses of these records sell for about 80 bucks. So getting it for 18 is definitely worth the money, trust me. This one's on like a kind of pinkish red color, which is nice. I believe this is the more limited one, but offhand I don't know the number. Yeah, hopefully at some point they release their third record, which is called Mare, and that record is fantastic as well. The next record I'm going to show you, this is Shirley Collins and Dolly Collins with Anthems in Eden. Yeah, this is a classic folk album that was recorded in 1969. I've talked about Shirley Collins on my channel quite a bit. I think she's an absolutely brilliant musician and a brilliant voice. Dolly Collins is actually her older sister, so it's really cool seeing them do an album together. Funny thing is, for those who have been with me from the beginning, you'll remember me talking about Judy Collins. Well, back in the day, I got a Judy Collins record thinking it was Dolly Collins, thinking it was Shirley Collins' older sister, and it was not, and I was quite angry with myself. But yeah, Judy Collins is still a great folk singer, she's just not this. But yeah, this is great stuff, whimsical, kinda psychedelic. I feel like if you're a fan of stuff like Fairport Convention or Pentangle or Incredible String Band, then I think you'll like this. It even has Robin Williams singing on a song, I believe it's God Dog. Yeah, God Dog. Robin Williams is on that song. So yeah, this is a great record. The later releases of this had another session that was recorded in 1976. So yeah, while owning the OG pressings is usually a cooler move, I believe owning the later presses of this record are even cooler because you get more music. But yeah, if you've not heard Shirley Collins and you're into kind of old English folk, then I definitely think you should give her a listen. She's fucking amazing. The next record I'm going to show you, this is Digerdöden with an album title that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. It's down there in the description section so you can read it for yourself. But this is another project from Swarty DePoos, who, again, his name I'm sure I'm butchering. I wish I could pronounce it like Tom from White Filth Vinyl pronounces it. I'm sure he's correct. And I studied the way he says it and I just can't nail it. So I'll just have to continue sounding like a fucking asshole. But yeah, Swarty DePoos is one of my favorite black metal musicians, so I try to grab anything that he does, but somehow this slid by me. It's a great album. It came out in 2017. It was pressed on vinyl in 2018 by Purity Through Fire, I believe, put this out. It doesn't say on the back. Anyways, yeah, this is a fucking awesome record. Great mystical sounding black metal, similar to the earlier Asylum stuff. But I actually like this more than the last Asylum record. And I haven't seen anybody show this on YouTube except for Tom. So I don't know, I figured it was worth talking about because I've been wearing this record out lately. The next record I'm going to show you, this is Musmahhu with Reign of the Odious. Speaking of Swarty DePoos, I figured I may as well go ahead and show his death metal project. You know, fucking Christ, man, this guy can just do everything so well. This is some ugly, nasty, but really well played, dismal sounding death metal. Yeah, sure, he did Demonomantic, which was also a death metal project, but it was very different from this, and in my opinion, I think that this is light years ahead of that project. I don't even know what to compare this to. Covenant era Morbid Angel mixed with like Incantation maybe, but I'm sure that's a horrible comparison. I don't know, man. Either way, this is the kind of death metal that I love. It's not overproduced, it's not over techy. You know, everything is just perfectly in its place. And I don't know, given the intense draw that this kind of like dreary death metal has been getting lately, I feel like this is gonna make a lot of year-end lists for this year. This is released through Iron Bonehead, and Records on Black won't bother showing you that. Real quick, I thought I'd shown this already, but I guess I didn't. But this is the Musmahhu 7-inch. This is called Formulas of Rotten Death. This came out last year, so obviously before Reign of the Odious, and I don't know, it's kind of similar, much more primitive sounding to me, but still I feel like worth picking up, but it's not quite as good. It was also put out on Iron Bonehead, so it should be easy to track down if you want it. The next record I'm going to show you, this is Jean Grae and Quelle Chris with Everything's Fine. By the way, I'm sorry if the light is blowing that out. I'll have to adjust later. But yeah, this was my favorite hip-hop project from last year. I never reviewed it or anything, but I mentioned it quite a bit throughout the year. Great alternative hip-hop. I don't even really know what to compare this to. That's the thing that's really cool about it. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that actually sounds like this record. And that's impressive for an album coming out in 2018, that they're doing something that unique. I'm a huge fan of Jean Grae, but I didn't really know much about Quelle Chris prior to buying this album. I know BZ430, he mentions Quelle Chris quite a bit, and it just kind of passed by me. So this was actually my first project of his. But from what I understand, this was all produced by Jean Grae and Quelle Chris. The beats are all experimental and kind of like lo-fi, jazzy, kind of like what Blue was doing a little bit. Maybe more akin to like some of the stuff that Bus Driver was doing on his last album, but I think this is just quite a bit better. No Shot at Bus Driver, of course. But yeah, this is seriously fucking next level. Both records are on black, won't bother showing you that. I know there's a version of this up right now on Mellow Music Group that has colored vinyl. I don't know the pressings and the limitations of this, but I do know that this is a first press, because this sold out fairly quickly and I was able to find this from some weird label overseas. So yeah, so anyway, grab that if you like really experimental, weird style hip hop. That's gonna do it for this edition of Records and Ramblings. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace out, boy.